Hello everyone, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 has just officially came out, so let's go and compare that against the Apple Watch SE 2nd generation and see which particular watch is a better one for you. Now, the big thing to keep in mind is that there is a pretty big price difference between these two watches. So it depends on which model you get though, because you can buy the cheapest model or you can buy the most expensive model. It kind of depends on what you want to do, but it totally depends on which type of size and model and all that stuff you gotta go down with. Now the big thing to keep in mind is that between these two types of watches, if you're going to be comparing the base, cheaper models, it's $299 for the cheapest model for the Galaxy Watch 7, which is $249 for a difference of the Apple Watch SE 2. Now price wise, again, that might seem like they're very close, and they are very close, don't get me wrong, but the thing is that the Apple Watch SE 2 came out like 2 years ago, and you can buy the Apple Watch SE 2 all day in the used market for significantly cheaper than $250, and that's why I would probably say there's a bigger price gap than you probably would realize. But if you plan on going in the brand new market, then clearly these two things are more similar. There's only like a $50 difference here. But that brings us basically to some of the similarities and differences between both. But if you want to pick up either one of these particular watches, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these watches come out in a smaller and a bigger size model. So you can get the 40 or 44 millimeter size on the Apple Watch SE 2, and it's basically the same type of casing that you're getting on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 as well. So that in and of itself is another pretty cool thing going on there. You can kind of like pick and choose whichever way you want to kind of go down with these particular watches. The big kind of thing to kind of keep in mind here with these two watches though, is that with the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7, this type of device is a little bit of a different type of watch, because it does look more modern. It has a more modern-esque to it than the Apple Watch SE 2. The Galaxy Watch 7 is basically kind of competing with the Apple Watch Series 9, whereas the Galaxy, the Apple Watch SE 2 is not really competing with the Galaxy Watch 7. So because of that, the Watch 7 is going to look a little nicer. You're going to have a little bit of a nicer display, and the design of this thing might look a little bit nicer for some people than something like the Apple Watch SE 2. I think the SE 2's display is still good. It is like that squared off, original Apple Watch design, which has always looked really nice. But I do think if I'm going to go through and pick up a watch, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 is probably the one, in my personal opinion, that probably looks nicer overall than something like the Galaxy Watch, or the Apple Watch SE 2. You're getting buttons on the side. On the back side, you are getting that type of, charging capability, which is always nice to have. I've always loved being able to charge my watches on the back side, but the Galaxy Watch 7 does have an advantage here because you do have the capability of going through and wirelessly charging your Galaxy Watch 7 from your Apple Watch, from your Samsung Galaxy phone. So that is something that is really, really cool. We haven't really had that type of capability on a lot of other devices, but having that on something like the Apple Watch SE 2, but having something like that on the Galaxy Watch 7 is a very, very nice thing, and I am a massive fan of having that type of capability right there. So that right there, in my personal opinion, definitely gets a thumbs up for me for sure. Now, when it comes down to the features and everything between both, there are lots of overlapping features here for the most part. So the number one thing to kind of keep in mind here is that if you're going to go through and pick up something like a Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 and an Apple Watch SE 2, for me personally, for almost everything I would do inside of an Apple Watch or a Galaxy Watch, a smartwatch in general, this thing can basically do everything I basically wanted to handle. So this thing would be able to handle, all the steps and workouts I would do. If I need to check a notification, if I need to do anything like that, this type of watch can basically do everything I'd ever wanted to do. Like, it's a very, very good watch from that particular perspective. So either one of these are going to be fine. From a battery life perspective though, I probably would say that the Galaxy Watch 7 might have an edge sometimes over the Apple Watch SE 2, but the SE 2 is still a very good battery life as well. It really depends, because the SE 2 is like basically brand new now. That might give you the impression that one's better. But I would probably tell you, like I said before, for like the everyday average person out there, I think you won't really be able to tell those big of a differences between these two. But here's the thing, right? When you're looking at something like the Apple Watch SE 2 or the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7, the thing you're going to have to keep in mind here is that you're really kind of comparing, iPhones and Androids. Do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android? If you have an iPhone, well then that's basically what you're going to have to, just deal with. But if you have an Android, then you have to go with the Samsung Galaxy Watch or one of those types of watches. Like, you can't actually go through and use a Galaxy Watch 7 on an iPhone, and you can't use an Apple Watch on an Android. So you don't really have too many choices here as you'd probably expect. So that right there is another very big thing to keep in mind. So when it comes down to it, I probably would say the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 is probably the better watch, maybe for some people. But if you don't have an Android, then you won't even be able to use it. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.